Lots of cactuses out here. I guess y'all are wearing boots, right?
Yep.
Good, good. Okay, this is my first attempt at doing anything this strenuous since I got out of the hospital. I've got legs like Big Bird now instead of muscular and buff like I used to be. So you're seeing the beginning foundation of reconstruction of Brian's legs. I do that and then I rest. I've always liked this cliff. When I was a kid, I came here with a church group or some group and to Flat Rock Park for picnics. I'm pretty sure it was either a field trip or it was a church group. But this cliff here was always really neat to me. Of course, we used to slide down the rocks on the other side, and that was always fun. But this was always a nifty little corner, and I actually used this cliff face in a zero budget sci-fi I made. This was a planet called Cation 5. It's got endless possibilities, and you can climb on it. It's just a really neat little area, and there's lots of cactuses out here. It's like riddled with cactuses, which I always found neat. I like cactuses, but yeah, this is really cool. I've always liked this.
Hey everyone, it's Robert with Sidestep Adventures. We're on a kind of lazy adventure today, but look who's out of the hospital.
So glad to be out of the hospital.
So this is our first adventure out since Brian got out of the hospital with kidney failure. So we're just taking a lazy adventure, walking around this park. It's the land of the flat rocks, and we're gonna check it out and show it to you. Maybe do some nature stuff. And I've got some new stuff to tell you about the channel too. And we'll do that in just a second.
Alright, here's Robbie trying to cross this thing. You're gonna see if he makes it.
Just one big step.
Will he make it? Oh, he made it, he made it. Yay, Robbie!
Oh hey, I didn't see you there. So I want to tell you some stuff about the Sidestep Adventure channel that we've got coming up. Of course, as you all know by now, we took like a couple weeks off. We haven't filmed anything. Today's the first time, except for that one little video I uploaded last night on church. But I have made some changes to the channel. Of course, you know why. Brian was in the hospital, so we didn't go out and film anything. Right before Brian went into the hospital, I launched a Patreon page for the channel. So I've got that set up. A lot of YouTube creators have done it. I finally did it. I had one set up a while back. Finally finished setting it up. I've got several different reward levels on there. I'm trying to remember what they are. I think it's $1 reward is extra pictures, and you get your name in a credit reel that's going to go on the end of every episode. Of course, there's not a credit reel right now, but I will be creating one. The next level is, I don't remember what the next level is. I am ashamed to admit. Hold on 1 second. I don't have my phone on me. So the next level is like $8, and I think it's a credit, and it's something else. I forgot what I did there. Just go to the Patreon page. I'll leave a channel down in the comments and check it out. If you want to, do the $1 a month thing, and we appreciate any level of support that Sidestep Adventures receives to keep this channel going. And I just want to let you all know about that. Also, like I said, we've been off. We haven't filmed anything. So I do have some new plans for the channel. Some new adventures will be coming up. Actually, today we were supposed to shoot a little movie thing. That didn't work out because the rain had other plans for us. Although it slacked off now for a little bit. So we're going to have a lot of new fun videos coming out. I also thought about doing this and giving feedback on this. I'm going to launch a series, Ghost Town series, where we drive around to these little Georgia towns that are Georgia and Alabama towns that are forgotten about, and just essentially ghost towns, and film them and give little tours of them. So that should be pretty cool too. And as always, just keep watching the channel, commenting. I love everyone's comments, and I really appreciate everyone that's followed along. Brian has greatly appreciated all the care for him that he received from y'all through comments and everything when he was in the hospital. And I and the rest of the Sidestep Adventure guys who are behind the camera right now are really excited to get back to filming, and I think this will be a fantastic year for this channel, bringing you new adventures and new fun videos. And on that note, we'll get back to exploring here.
You know, there's beauty everywhere we go. Everywhere we go, there's beauty. Even in the ugliest, nastiest places we go, and places have been run down, nature takes over and just beautifies it.
Dude, anybody want pretty little frog?
What is it?
Okay.
Don't use a toad.
You say a scraggly looking squirrel?
Yeah, climbing up the thing out there real slow. He's way up there under the bush under that tree now.
What's in the bag? Ooh. Look at the dust on the bottle. You can tell the age of it. 2006.
Wow.
This was my brew that I made. And when I made it, I found that I had so many friends. And then when I stopped making it, I stopped getting friends. Wow. So I think they were just after the beer.
You know, come to think of it, looking back, that's very possible.
This was my favorite beer when I was in Germany. My favorite little beer mug to drink it out of. So I'm gonna let Brian have the first. Let's hope this carbonated.
Just a little. That's good.
Try it. Let's see, make sure it's... Oh yeah. Oh man, that is good.
That is fantastic.
Awesome beer, isn't it? Now Cody, I didn't leave you out. I brought you a ginger beer. No alcohol. So
That's cool too, because ginger beer is one of my favorite drinks.
but now I have something I want to give you that I made a promise. You know, I'm not a very religious person, but I made this promise that if you would get better, that I had something that was given to me, entrusted to me a few years ago by a good friend of mine who I grew up with. He's kind of a musician, but I know you are a musician, and this will really mean something to you because it's something that doesn't have much value now, only sentimental value, but it's something if you retain it in the future, it will have a great value. And I'll give you a little bit of the backstory. He went to this person's concert in Oklahoma, and it was at an eat and greet. They had this particular, once you know who it is and you understand, he does these eat and greets. So while he was at the eat and greet, they struck up a conversation, they both being from Georgia. He's like, well, I don't sign autographs for people normally. I just don't do that. But since you're from Georgia, I'll do it for you.
Wow.
So he did this, but he had to do it in private. So he took this item back to his tour bus and then signed it, and then later had his wife give it back to him because he didn't want nobody to see him directly do it.
Yeah.
Without further ado, but that's the backstory on the on what it is. And I have a letter of, to make these, I know I've watched on all these shows, you need a letter of provenance
Wow.
to authenticate this, and I know this is an authentic. And without further ado, Sally Brown meet Zach Brown.
Ooh.
That's his signature on that guitar.
Wow.
And now, I don't have any children to leave that to, and I know one day that will be valuable,
Yeah.
like a Beatles signature. They weren't valuable then, but in the future. Now, whether you have children and pass it on to them, or pass it on to Robert, who passes it on to Julia or Cody, that's up to you to decide. But I'm entrusting you with the keepsake of that.
Is really
Valuable to me. That's a very valuable item, but that's a token of you getting better. I wanted to present that to you, and I made a promise that if you did privately, that I would present that to you.
Well, David, I really appreciate this.
No problem. I'm glad you got better.
Me too. This is really neat. Well, it's like there's a lot that Stacy tells me about, and that I saw on the video.
You just don't remember.
Yeah, it's like everything was through a cloud. It was like it was so. I was in such bad shape. I don't even really remember half the stuff. It's crazy. And I remember when, and like I'm so hungry now because I'm on this diet, but it's like I was like they would bring me food, and I'd just pick at it, and I couldn't eat it. I just couldn't eat it, and now I look back, I'm like I don't even remember what they brought me, and like man, I wish I'd eaten that food. They had to give me nausea suppressors so I could eat at first. And then after they started giving me steroids, it was like I was cleaning every plate they brought in there.
Well, kidneys are not nothing to play with.
No. I'm really happy to be out. When they told me that I could go. Okay, here on the video, you'll see. You can see. I'm sure we had video of the port coming out of my, and there's a picture on. This is where it was, just a little Band-Aid now. I just got to make sure I keep my diet and get my because I still got some high levels from some of that stuff, and it's got to come down. But I'm trying to eat like a lot of spinach, a lot of greens. Like the kidney diet is actually kind of tricky because it's so specific, but I'm just like mimicking the meals they brought me at the hospital. And I just expound on it just a little bit from here to there until I get educated on what I can do and what I can't do.
So we're at Flat Rock Park today here in Columbus, the land of the flat rock as it's known. I just made that up. But this park used to actually be an old quarry, an old rock quarry, and at some time, I don't remember exactly when, I think it was the 1950s, it was turned into the beautiful park that it is today. And it's also been very poorly maintained, so there's a lot of falling structures down here, which, we love falling structures. So we're going to take a look around and see what else we can find out here. Be lots of nature.
Flat Rock Park, once a quarry, turned into a park. They installed shelters for get-togethers, halls for parties, picnics. Long having since seen its heyday, it is now a kind of a ghostly reminder of what it once was. People still come here, but there's no ranger presence. It's just basically ignored and allowed to fall apart by the city, which is sad because it was kind of a cool place at one time.
People on the four-wheel drive trucks coming out here and play.
Yeah, you might want to not go. You might get stuck out here.
I think I'm already stuck.
Uh-oh.
Retreat! Retreat! That road is messed up.
Yeah. And see, that's why so many roads and trails and stuff get closed off to the four-wheel drive people because of stuff like this.
Yeah.
This is not a four-wheel drive trail.
But they make it.
Yeah, and ruin it for those of us that drive cool, awesome cars. Can't make it down this sort of stuff.
I think my battery's dying.
The Buick's built like a tank, but not for all that stuff.
Just trying to figure out if Robbie knows what the hell he's doing.
I'm trying to turn around.
In a 50-foot car.
Yeah.
He's trying to do an 800-point turn.
Yeah. I can feel the car sliding. Alright, we won't be going down there. Come on. There we go.
Just look at these mud puddles. It rained a lot today, everybody.
Car's in the bath. Go by the car wash and spray it off.
Alright, shutting down. I gotta change batteries.
Hold on.
It's in red. And back on the road. That's where we came from. As you can see, it's all crazy down there.
Definitely got to find a car wash. So this used to be something like a caretaker's house out here at the park, and it is a real shame and fault of the city how much it's been allowed to, this whole park has been allowed to go to ruin and decay.
It is a shame. It's a huge shame. Oh, that's pretty. Still got the raindrops on. Wow, this is really in a state of disrepair.
It is. Like everybody's trash and then some is in here.
Yeah, you can definitely tell this is 50s era. You know why? Look at the siding. It's asbestos.
Yeah.
Yep. Just like my house.
Yeah, I know about asbestos. Just last week we had some carpet layers come in and put new carpet down.
Yeah.
And then we had some new tile put in the kitchen floor. The guy was ripping up the old stuff. He goes, oh, I said, this is really?
Rock foundation is really cool down there.
Patched over? Put over? Yeah. Kind of patched over. I mean, I'm sure at the time all these trees weren't here. You probably had a good clear view of the homes around you.
Yeah.
And obviously that's where that tree there fell.
Yeah.
You can see where it fell right across the road. It's a shame. You know, maybe the city was going to preserve, put it back originally and
It's a pretty cool little steps right here. Not really sure what their purpose was.
Well, I mean, I actually kind of like them because you don't have to stop. But it's like, parks are important.
Yeah. Any idea what this could have been?
I don't know, I was wondering about that.
Maybe they had a flagpole there or something.
Something. And it is a real shame. It's a real shame on Columbus that this park was allowed to get in this condition.
I would
Even
love
this
to see
house.
inside that home. I bet that home is, if it's in good condition, I bet it's very nice inside. I mean, as far as the architecture and everything,
Yeah.
the way it was designed.
I got a car in distress in the road.
No license plate.
No license plate.
Can't make it up the hill.
Yeah, he sounded bad. There's lots of natural beauty here at Flat Rock Park. One thing I've always found fun, because they're not really a lot of, you know, you don't see them all the time in this area, is the cacti. Lots of moss covering the rocks. Sometimes very pretty flowers. Oh, he's gonna have to two-leg this one. Because whatever Flat Rock Park may have become as a park in its decline, it still is extremely rich in natural beauty. It's in Georgia, but it almost has a western mountainous feel to it in the Louis L'Amour tradition, but that's just through my own filter. That's just kind of what I see in certain areas around here when I'm here. It's like this fallen down tree. I could just imagine a shootout between an outlaw and a ranger up in an area like this, taking shelter behind this tree. But I have a vivid imagination. I would also like to take this time to express my lament for the passing of Anthony Bourdain, because I liked Anthony Bourdain. You know, he was gruff and he was earthy, but he was extremely poetic. And Anthony Bourdain really inspired me, and he inspired me to do some of the things that I do. And I'm nowhere near on anywhere near his realm or level, but he was inspiring, and I really lament his passing. I really liked Anthony Bourdain. Rocky with a tiny little meadow. And you walk down the rocks, cracks where the vegetation peeps through. Little streams of quartz exposed by They're following the water. Almost looks like an otherworldly landscape. We've showed you the some of the other stuff, the cliff, and there's more than we've showed you here. Excuse me. There's more than we have shown you here. But I just wanted to get a shot of one of the main attractions of this place. That is the area where people would come to play in the water. Down these rocks people would slide, including me in my younger years. And it goes into that channel and on around and down the creek. It's seriously flooded now because of the heavy rains. And down there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's in the creek, there's part of a wall you can see, a little rock wall down past the vegetation. That was a pool you could swim in. I'm not, it's sunny so I can hardly see the viewfinder. I don't know how well it's showing up, but right down the channel down there was a pool, but it's like they haven't maintained it and it's filled in. I myself used to come in here and play and was sliding down the rocks and lost control and went plowing down there and just caught myself right at the last second before I got serious injuries back when I was like 18. Tadpoles in the pool guarantee another generation of bullfrogs. Indentions, square indentions where quarry business once took place. And at the top of the waterfall, that's where the water comes from. Over this former quarry turned park, turned neglected. Well, I'm Brian Mallard, out of the hospital, back in the field. Ooh, hang on. Looks like a crayfish claw, unless somebody brought out a snack, who knows. But I'm Brian Mallard, glad to be out of the hospital and in the field and shooting and bringing stuff for you guys. I want to thank you all for the prayers and the nice words while I was in the hospital. It meant a lot to me, it really did, and I thank you so much. And we're getting back out slowly. There's much more exciting stuff coming. And Flat Rock Park is of course known very well. Let's see if I can find a less wet way to go. Flat Rock Park is known very well by the local people of Columbus. Maybe not so much by people, you know, farther away. But it's interesting because you've got what was once a very industrial situation turned into a leisure spot, which I think is really cool. They didn't just like cover it over or let it grow in the woods. They actually turned it into something that the entire community could enjoy. And I like that. After a sidestep, rounded off with some Ezel's catfish. Why not?
We're still waiting for the catfish, but these hush puppies, that's never.
The last one.
Roberto.
Good look on these. Give it half.
Doing okay? Any more hush puppies?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back.
See, he's gonna get some noodles.
New hush puppies on the way.
Dig the bottom of the basket.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
And Coke.
Yeah.
My name is Ed.